Hi, I'm Margaret Lagerstedt, the Archives and Special Collections Coordinator at the Thomas Crane Public Library, and I'm excited to invite you to share your Quincy story. Quincy 400 has reminded us of how important it is to recognize the experiences of our community. What makes our history so great and so rich is the people. It's you. The Quincy Legacy Project aims to preserve the stories of Quincy for generations to come. We are collecting stories and memories of work, home, school, and whatever else you want to weave into our historical tapestry. On the City of Quincy's Open Heritage Day, the archives at TCPL teamed up with QATV to preserve some of your stories on video. These will be shared for a limited time, then tucked away in the archives for Quincy to revisit in the future. Ready to share your own? Contact us at qulocalhistory@ocln.org to schedule your long-format oral history or to find out the next time we are filming video time capsule clips with QATV. We can't wait to hear from you.
Hi, I'm Mara O'Gara. I wasn't born in Quincy, I was born in Dorchester, but I was, when I came along, my parents decided to move to Quincy. So I grew up in the Marymount neighborhood. And then when I started my own family, we moved to the same neighborhood just down the street from my folks. Let's see, where do I work? I work for the Trustees of Reservations, and I'm a naturalist at a nature-based school there. For my favorite places in Quincy, I have to say I have so many favorite places in Quincy. I help a friend with a monthly program called the Quincy Environmental Treasures Program, and it highlights the nature of Quincy as well as the history of Quincy. And I really think those two things are what makes Quincy so wonderful. We're so blessed to have about 40%, I think, of the Blue Hills are in Quincy. Of course, we have the gorgeous coastline. We have the Neponset and the Fore River and the Town River, and all sorts of beautiful protected spaces within the city. And then such a rich and long history here. I think about the Caddy Park and the archaeological finds there, and the rich indigenous history we have, all the way up until now with the 400 celebration of more recent histories. It's just such an interesting place. And what got me connected to that Environmental Treasures program was an interest in the city. And what I find particularly wonderful is that through those programs, I'm always learning something new. There's always something new to learn and discover in this city because it's so rich in that history, so rich in habitats and natural wonders. So I think it's that combination that makes it so special. And of course, a diversity of people. I love walking the beach on a summer night and hearing all different languages being spoken. I love the diversity of cuisine that comes as a result of having a diverse population. So there's lots, I feel like, to celebrate. Okay, what do I hope Quincy is like 100 years from now? I hope that all those natural wonders I mentioned are healthy and thriving. I hope that the diversity of people are thriving, that the history continues to be explored and broadened in what history is celebrated. And let's see, why did I decide to participate? Because I love Quincy, and I can't imagine a better place to live. So I want to participate to celebrate. And where else have I gone today during Open Heritage Day? This is my first stop. I had a fabulous tour of the Richardson Room. I just learned something new about my city, and it's fabulous. So I am grateful for Open Heritage Day, where I had the opportunity to learn something new, and I'm happy to live in Quincy.
Hi, my name is Suzanne Schold. It's spelled S-K-J-O-L-D, which is, I think my sister family and I were the only ones in the city. We were born in Quincy, 1975. Born in Quincy Hospital, born and raised in North Quincy. I lived with my mom and dad, Bob and Mary Ann, and my little sister, Christine. We lived in the same house on Ardell Street, right by President's Golf Course. The house was sold in 2022, after my parents had bought it in 1970, and they were the third owners of the house and the place that my sister and I called home the entire time we lived in Quincy. So we would enjoy our neighborhood. We had a great neighborhood filled with tons of kids. We played on the golf course all the time, went down by the marsh, but of course not in the marsh because that wasn't allowed by our parents. We used to go to McNeese's, the store on on West Squantum Street. And they had candy for 5 cents. We'd get candy cigarettes, bubble gum, all the good old candies each day, and just ride around our bikes all through the neighborhood. So that was our Quincy experience. I went to school at Sacred Heart for 8 years after going to Montclair Montclair Elementary for kindergarten. And then went to Archbishop Williams High School before going off to college and then eventually moving out of state. So I haven't actually lived in Quincy since 1997. But it's still our home. And right now we actually moved to Honolulu. So my husband and I live in Hawaii. We've been there for 18 years. And we come home a couple times a year to see our moms and our family in this area. So we were lucky to come during Quincy Heritage Days. And that's why we're here today at the Crane Public Library. A kind of neat part of this little tour that we did today with the archivist is I had a memory of doing a report in high school on Billy the Kid. And I came to the library several times to do microfiche, which anyone who's under 40 will have no idea what that is. And eventually the librarian noticed I was here and being very intent around taking out some old sources and really looking to see if I could figure out what had happened to Billy the Kid. She allowed me to go up into the upper level of this building that we're sitting in right now. The only time I'd ever been up there, and I was telling my mom before we came to the library, I remember going up there because you walked on these green glass floors. And we just got to go up there again and walk on those green glass floors, and this building is just incredible. It was a great place to come back to, but I don't think I'd been in this building since I was 14, so really neat to be here again. Let's see, what should I talk about? What do I do for work? I work in nonprofits, so I have had a long history in working in literacy, education, youth development. I've worked at the Boys and Girls Club in Florida and in Hawaii, worked at a literacy organization and the Our United Way there as well. When I was in Quincy, I worked at the East Milton CVS as my high school job, and then went on to lifeguard over at the State Pool on Memorial Drive. So those are my first 2 jobs in this area. Favorite places in Quincy? The quarries. When I grew up here, there was water in the quarries. It was not a golf course, and we may have occasionally spent some time up there admiring the view. We, as kids, we really just kind of hung out on Wollaston Beach and would bike around. I don't know what else we went to see. When teenagers, we went to Quincy Center and walked around. We went to the movie theater in Quincy Center a lot. We went to Papagino's down in Wollaston. That was a favorite place. Balducci's, which is still there. We've been going to Balducci's since the 80s. That place is killer. But mostly we just kind of hung out with our friends and went to movies. When we were real little, we'd go down to Quincy Center and go to Child World. That was the best place ever. And got lots of birthday presents there. We loved the Villa Rosa. I guess that's actually in East Milton, but very close to the Quincy line. And 1600 Colonial, a great restaurant in Quincy Center back in the day, right near Patty Barry's. Cafe Pacific as well, also still there. That was a great place. We used to walk there in snowstorms. That was very, very neat to get. After shoveling our lawn driveway, we got some Chinese food. I think things that make Quincy unique. Yeah, it's really historical. I love what they've done with Quincy Center. It was kind of vibrant when I grew up, but it hit a spot where it wasn't so vibrant. So seeing it open like this is great. Don't love the new buildings going up around like North Quincy train station. I wish they looked a little more Quincy. I feel like we lose Quincy when we see that kind of stuff. But seeing the history here, these old historic buildings, and seeing young people coming and caring about them, it's very cool to me. I think the other thing that's unique about Quincy is what a big town it is, or a big city. There's all these different neighborhoods that I think it's one of the largest cities or towns in the entire state, area-wise. So like places like Hausneck or Germantown were like a world away from North Quincy when we grew up, but they are all part of one town, and there's a lot of neat different groups of people that live in the different places and lots of different stories. So I think projects like this are pretty cool. But yeah, I don't know. I can't think of, I have three more questions. I think this is what I hope Quincy's like in 100 years. So that would be 21, 25. I hope that Quincy has continued to put money into saving places like this library and the grain mill that's trying to be restored, and that cool old house across from Darcy's Pub that almost got taken down. Like, I hope that the people who are running our city see those things as important and understand that, like, you know, the money that might be made from taking those down or not investing them is short term, but there's only one chance to have this library or to save a collection, and that is really important. Even if they're not your stories, they're the stories of the place that you have come to live, and those deserve to be honored. And I think taken care of, because then you find these unexpected connections to people that you maybe have never had a chance to meet. So I hope that continues. I hope that Quincy can find a way to develop and have housing for everybody in a way that really keeps Quincy to feel like a neighborhood or a set of neighborhoods, and not to feel so developed and not like high rises and chain stores and things that could be anywhere in the country. I think it's too special of a place for that. I hope our water lines don't rise, because Quincy has a lot of shore rise. So I hope Wollaston Beach is still there in 100 years. And yeah, I guess I participated in this video because Quincy is my hometown, even though I haven't been here for a long time. I think it's neat to, at some point, maybe 100 years from now, people will say like that our family was here and part of Quincy's history. So that's
And the Elcocks.
Oh, I should say that, yeah. So our family did not grow up very wealthy. We had a two-family in North Quincy, but apparently before the Depression, my mom's side of the family, the Elcocks and Fixes, did have a little bit of money because they actually owned the Elcock Quarry, which became the Swindles Quarry later on, and they were known for the dark granite. So some portion of my family had a quarry, which I thought was really cool. And if we had ever gone up to the quarries when we weren't supposed to, we might have been over by the Elcock Quarry as well. Let's see, the other place we went to on our open house and open heritage days, we just went to the church across the street and saw the crypt downstairs, which has John Adams, Abigail Adams, John Quincy Adams, and his wife Louisa, all resting in place in these really amazing hand-cut stoned crypt that's just like a really kind of interesting, unique place. So if you're not really creeped out by crypts, it's a really cool place to go. And we're going to head over to Hausneck and hear about some buildings from that island next. Yeah, I think that's everything. So thank you for this chance to share a little bit about my Quincy. And yeah, we're going to go over and head to Balducci's now. So thanks.
Hi, I'm Caleb Usadi.
I'm Chris Hardy.
We both moved to Quincy at the beginning of this year. I was born in Georgia.
I was born in New Jersey.
We moved down from Vermont for work, basically. I got a job in Watertown and Chris got a job in Braintree. So we wanted to live really south of Boston so that it made sense commute-wise, because I don't mind riding the T into work. I am an engineer and Chris is a lawyer.
I work right over at the courthouse, right down the street. I'm a Norfolk County District Attorney. I just got the job.
Our favorite places in Quincy include the library. I don't know what else.
The Presidential Pub.
Oh, the Presidential Pub. Actually, if there's a single place I like to spend my time in Quincy, it's the Presidential Pub.
And I like the courthouse.
Yeah. But by the time we watch this video, maybe it'll be a new courthouse. What makes Quincy unique? I really like, I'm not going to say that my favorite thing about Quincy is living close to Boston. I love that I don't live in Boston. I'm glad that I can work in Watertown and like be in the big city, but I don't have to live in the big city. Quincy's a little slower. It's a little quieter. Everybody's really nice. There's all kinds of places for me. I have a good bar. I have a good library. I have a good park. And it's not too fast. It's not too loud. What do you like about Quincy?
I like.
Oh, sorry. What do you think makes Quincy
What
unique?
makes Quincy unique? I'm all of the history, I think, concentrated in such a small area. I really like that.
What do you hope Quincy is like 100 years from now?
I hope or think.
What do you hope?
I don't know what I hope for Quincy in 100 years. I think that they'll know what is best for them in 100 years. But I think what will happen is it'll be remarkably the same. If things will change, the houses might look different or get painted a different color, but based on what I understand, this area in particular has a real importance with continuity. So I think there'll be a lot that looks the same in 100 years. Hopefully the library.
Yeah, what I hope 100 years from now, I don't know if the presidential pub is still going to be there, but hopefully the library is there, maybe with another wing or two.
The Caleb wing.
No, because it'll be named after the architect. So it'll be the Charlie wing. That's my brother. Why did you decide to participate in this video time capsule? I really like Quincy. I'm really glad we ended up here. And so I've really been trying to dive in and get involved. I love the library. So this seemed like a really tender way to leave a little bit of a mark, especially I think it'll be nice to see where I was when I started out in Quincy compared to like where we end up. Where else have we gone today during Open Heritage Day? It's been a great day. I started with a Neponset River cleanup with the Watershed Association at Neponset Landing, which is where we first moved when we moved to Quincy, and we did not love it so much. So it was really cathartic to like go back and pick up some of the trash. And then we went straight to the tidal mill, the Souther tidal mill, and that was awesome. I think I'm gonna get involved. I want to be a friend of the Souther tidal mill. And then we just got back from Howe's Neck Congregational Church where they had a shipbreaking lecture. That was very interesting. And I think that basically wraps up our Open Heritage Day. I'm looking forward to next year.